Alright guys, time for another comic review, and this one is again another comic sent to me by Chris, again the Mount Vernon kid, who asked me to review, sent me another one of these books, and this is, we're going to be reviewing Silver Surfer Rebirth. This is by Ron Lim, and artwork by Ron Lim, written by Ron Mars. Now, this comic is kind of interesting on a few levels. Like, it's a fun little Silver Surfer miniseries in that this does a lot, but not in the right time period. Marvel's been doing a lot of these comics where they're set in different time periods, like little forgotten stories in between the time periods, like Peter David's Symbiote Spider-Man, and also Peter David's Maestro Hulk. Marvel's been doing a lot of these, even with a few X-Men books too, where they're like stories set in certain timelines. Like, they're really trying to bring up the nostalgia factor, and that's kind of what this is. So Silver Surfer Rebirth is set during the Ron Mars, Ron Lim run in the late 90s, the 90s era of Silver Surfer. And basically what this book is that it's set after Infinity War, I believe. Either Infinity War definitely Infinity War. But basically set after Infinity War, not Infinity Gauntlet, but after the event Infinity War, where Adam Warlock basically gave the Infinity Gems to members of what is known as the Infinity Watch, and one of those people, the Reality Gem, was given to Thanos, who was still in exile at this time. Well, funny story. Someone has stolen the Reality Gem out from under Thanos' hold, like under Thanos' grasp, and they've given it to someone else. And Thanos, not wanting to go to Adam Warlock because he's like, I respect him, but I don't trust him. He don't trust me, I don't trust him. So he instead goes to the Silver Surfer, who's like, hey, your cosmic awareness will help me find the Reality Gem. It's also interesting to note that, like, for some reason, Marvel can't, like, figure out what gem is the most powerful. Like, out of all the gems, like, which is the most powerful of the gems? Because this one says the Reality Gem is the most powerful. But I'm like, but Jim Starlin keeps talking about how powerful the Soul Gem is, or like, oh no, it's the Power Gem. It gives all the gems their extra kick. Like, no Marvel writer can figure out which of the Infinity Gems is the most powerful among them. Like, none of them can like settle on which is the most powerful among them. And it's a little annoying. Like, there's no one sits down and goes, okay, here's the most powerful gem. And it's not like the villain is like trying to figure out like, oh, like I'm going to get all the gems and make a new Infinity Gauntlet. No, they just wanted the Reality Gem, just to rewrite reality. So let's talk about the title real quick. Silver Surfer Rebirth. Nothing is getting reborn here. Like, this title is so misleading. And you see, it's Captain Marvel, the original Marvel, the original Captain Marvel. So Marvel does show up in this book, but we also get, it's more, he's not even a part of this. Like, if you think he's like a big part of this book, no, he's not. He's literally just here because Silver Surfer flies into a reality where he's still alive and survived the cancer, and he's only here for a few pages. That's really it. There's no one getting reborn. There's no Silver Surfer isn't being reborn. It should have, like, the title is so misleading, and yeah, it's clearly set in the 90s because they show off Guineas Vale in his old 90s, like, head sock costume. You know, the costume that says, say you're from the 90s without saying you're from the 90s, you know? It's like that. So I feel like the title should have been, like, Reality Quest, or the Quest of Reality, like something to do with more with the story. That's what I feel like it should have been, is like something more akin to what the story was, rather than what the story was like supposed to be. That's what I'm like confused by, is like, you called it this, but there's nothing that pertains to the title. So yeah, Silver Surfer Rebirth literally could have just been called anything. Like, anything else but Rebirth, because ain't nothing getting reborn in this book. So, the other thing is, I really love Ron Lim's artwork. He clearly has not missed a step, and also, it's his look is just so, like, 90s, too, but, like, good 90s. It's not like, let me give you a good example of how good he is as an artist. Like, let's see. There was a really good page I wanted to use. Perfect example. That's how good the artwork is for this book, is along that line with Ron Lim. So, yeah, like that could easily be a poster in of itself, like a miniature poster of Thanos and Silver Surfer fighting. But, yeah, it's a lot of fun, and the comic is only 5 issues, and really lives up to it, because it just goes at a breakneck pace. Like, this book does not stop. This comic moves at a breakneck pace constantly. It's just like go, go, go. And for 5 issues, they really like try to like enough of that, let's keep going. Like, that's really what it is like enough of that, let's keep going. That's really what it is. Like, there's like no breathing room for this book. It's just Ron Mars and Ron Lim literally like, hey, we only got 5 issues to tell this story. And if it was Jim Starlin, he'd be like, I want 10 issues to tell this story. And I want to have Adam Warlock in here, too. And he's going to play a big part in this. Because, Jim Starlin, he loves his Thanos and Adam Warlock characters. So, wax poetically. Sorry. Neck is kind of stiff. Anyway. So let's talk about the other characters that show up. We have the Jack of Hearts who shows up. I haven't seen him in a long time. I think he's still dead. I think, honestly, in Marvel Comics, I think he's been dead since Avengers Disassembled. I could be wrong because he's so little people have used him, and maybe I'm just missing him. But literally, I have not seen that character and maybe I've missed him. And I know comics are all expansive, so I already know I'm probably getting like 17 comments going, he actually showed up here, and I have to tell you, even though 10 other people told me, so I can feed my ego. Yeah, just if someone knows if he's alive or not, just one guy let me know. That's all. But yeah, I think Jack of Hearts has still been dead since fucking Avengers Disassembled. So who is the big villain of this book? Well, it's the last guy you'd ever expect, because it's Tyrant. Who's Tyrant? Good question. Tyrant, for just to sum it up and then give you the abridged version, Tyrant is kind of the son of Galactus, who was created and had his own desires to be like a universal warlord and enslave his quote unquote father. Yeah, here's a look at him. Yep, all the big chords and blue and sharp edges. Clearly another sign of the 90s or late 80s. So yeah, Tyrant just basically, instead of taking one gem, instead of taking all the gems, he just takes the reality gem and wants to bend it to his will so he can alter reality to how he sees fit. And through this, they get to see all of, like, Surfer and Thanos encounter all these different realities. Surfer being that there's a fun moment where he actually meets the other versions of his past and future selves. Like, he meets the Mike Allred artist rendition of Silver Surfer from the Dan Slott run, which is one of the few Dan Slott things that he's done that Dan Slott is really good. Like, his Silver Surfer run's pretty fun. You have the Jack Kirby version of Silver Surfer with the trunks. You also have... So it's a nice little callback to all the little... If you're a Silver Surfer fan, then you're probably going to enjoy all the, like, neat references throughout this book. All in all, this is like a fun book. You'd probably find it I'd say get it at a discount. It's nothing like groundbreaking or major unless you're a major Silver Surfer fan. So, yeah, I would say give it a look, but I would say, like, if you find it like a bargained in book, this is worth a quick read, because it's really more of, do you like Silver Surfer? Oh, you do? Well, here's a quick little adventure with him with Thanos in it. So there you go, guys. So once again, I'd like to thank Chris for sending me this comic. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.